I genuinely want our country to change. I want a system where students don't have to die because the exam paper was leaked and their efforts were cancelled. I want a system where being educated actually means something and where 30% of graduates aren't sitting at home and wondering what they were doing wrong. I want accountability. I want transparency. I want responsibility. I want corruptions to end. I want institutions that actually work. And I want leadership to see young people, the future, the country's future, not as a vote bank, not as a demographic, not as cockroaches. And when something comes along and says, we are that change, I can't roll my eyes. I listen, I look, I lean. But I also ask questions because that's my job. I call myself a journalist. Because there's a thing about wanting to change so badly. It makes you vulnerable. And someone is always ready to use that vulnerability, which is what's happening with Gen Z these days. So let's talk about Cockroach Janata Party, CJP. The Chief Justice of India used the words cockroach and parasite in open court. He later clarified, said he was specifically talking about people entering the legal profession with fake degrees, not youth as a whole. Fine, clarification noted. And you know what? This matchstick doesn't lit the fire because of what CGI meant. It lit because of what this country's youth has been living. NEET cancelled because someone sold the papers, jobs that doesn't exist for degrees that took years, a system that asks you to keep faith while consistently giving you reasons not to. When you are carrying all of that, you don't wait for a clarification. You feel the word and you're right to feel it. The anger is valid and I'm saying it clearly and I mean it. But this is where I stop nodding and start asking questions. It's being awake. So let's audit this digital movement. Day one, the energy was something else. Resign the education minister, accountability for NEET, fix unemployment, actual demands, structural demands, a manifesto, the kind that makes governments uncomfortable. And then came CGP's first official celebration, their first milestone as they call it. They had crossed BJP's follower count on Instagram. And their first call to action, the opening move of the movement that was going to change India, unfollow BJP. I'm not being sarcastic. That was genuinely it. They even made a video and posted, said, unfollow BJP on Instagram. That's our win. A country full of real, legitimate and earned rage, and the first move of revolution was unfollow button. Now let's talk about Abhijit Dipke, the founder, the man running it. Because I find that interesting. Abhijit Dipke worked for Aam Aadmi Party. He even posted a photo with Manish Sisodia. Caption says, like, his words, not mine, that leaving for Boston University, but no distance can waver my commitment to Aam Aadmi Party. Today, he is the founder of a movement that calls itself independent, neutral, by the youth, for the youths, no party, no agenda, pure frustrated Gen Z energy. And I have a very, very simple question here. Which version of Abhijit Dipke are we supposed to believe? Like, you cannot say no distance will waver my commitment to Aam Aadmi Party and even just a month back post a certain narrative-driven post on X and now present yourself as an unaffiliated voice of a generation, do you? That's not what you call independence. That's rebranding, and not even a careful one. The receipt is full online. I don't know what you're going to say. You say that there's nothing to hide. I did work for Aam Aadmi Party in the past and I supported them. But now I'm like, make of that what you will. Make that make sense, I mean. And even listen to his interviews been taken this week. He's citing Umar Khalid in interviews, someone convicted under UAPA using anti-India remarks such as Bharat ke tukde honge, we are gonna, divide Northeast India and with the rest of India. And even the institutions he targets. Look at the ones he never touches. It flows in one very specific political direction, consistently, suspiciously, consistently. And I want to be very clear right now, I am not defending BJP. Having a problem with BJP does not automatically makes you pro-India, and being anti-BJP does not automatically makes you the voice of Indian youths. You can oppose the government, ask questions, and still owe the people following you some honesty about who you are and what you actually stand for. And then there are 22, 23 million people following. Everyone keeps celebrating. Let's talk about them. Because reports have flagged that a significant chunk of that follower base is from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Turkey, not Indian Gen Z. Foreign accounts amplifying what is being sold as an Indian youth movement. So when CJP says we are the voice of youth, whose youth exactly? Though Abhijit Dipke says that that's not the real data, he says 94% of the following is from India. But what's said is the loudest amplification coming from outside this country. And that's not small footnote, that's actually the whole question. Now I want to take you all back in 2011 because this movie has been played before, just not digitally but on the ground. Anna Andolan, Jantar Mantar, the exact same energy. A generation done with corruption, done with being invisible, done with the system. And from that wave came Arvind Kejriwal, who had RTI documents in hand, specific names, specific numbers, specific corruption he could prove. He stood in the cold for weeks. He built something that felt real and earned, and that generation trusted him that something is going to change. And then he swore on his children that he would never take Congress support to form a government. But his first government in Delhi ran on Congress support. And the youth that had carried him on their shoulders asked zero questions because the energy felt too good to interrogate. Now look at today. Same energy, same feeling of finally someone gets it, same rush, same zero questions. Kejriwal got absorbed in the very power he swore to dismantle. What is the guarantee? What is a single guarantee that he doesn't follow the same path? That a generation's frustration being swallowed up by someone else's political ambition. And before he says, Samisha, you're being narrow-minded, you're being fast, it's just been a week, give it some time. He's been giving interviews back to back, all channels, all podcasts, all platforms. I've listened to them all. Waiting for something new, something concrete, a plan, a pathway, a spine, anything. Same lines every single time. He himself said, and I quote, that I have not thought this far ahead. This was begin as a satire. Okay, honest, I respect that honesty. I genuinely, deeply believe this country needs to change. The unemployment is real. The institutional rot is real. The feeling that nobody in power actually sees you, that is real. And if 23 million young people collectively decided enough is enough, that energy is something, it matters, it should matter. But a collective effort still needs a direction, a spine, and a leader who has thought past day 7. Because right now, what I see is an entire generation's legitimate fury being handed over to someone whose independence is just one old caption away from being disapproved, and nobody is asking why. You question the government for every policy, every statement, every decision, as you should. That is your right. And this is actually your responsibility. But that exact same standard has to apply to whoever you're rallying behind. And that question doesn't become less important or less relevant just because the person asking for a trust is wearing the right aesthetic. Revolution cannot be built on foam base. The website is down. The X account is banned. The Bangalore reporters that even went viral, Dipke himself said he didn't call for it. The Instagram got hacked. Let's see what happens. Our country needs a revolutionary. I believe that. But a revolutionary stands for something, not just against something. There's a difference in being anti-BJP and being pro-India. You're too angry, too right to be angry, to hand over your anger to someone who hasn't earned it. Think about it.